Hey everybody, this is Timothy Gay, and I'm going to take a look at the Shards of Infinity solo mode. This is a awesome deck builder that came out in 2018. It's a head-to-head dueling deck builder. I'm not going to teach you how to play it. There's plenty of great videos that show the multiplayer mode, how to play. This is just to kind of demonstrate how the solo mode works for people that are interested in that. The good news is the solo mode plays very close to how the multiplayer plays. You're playing against a Nemesis player, and today I'll be Decima, the best leader, versus Kosin Wu, the worst. I'm just kidding. So basically, setup's normal. You shuffle the deck. You're going to need the expansion too. The Relics of the Future expansion. Basically shuffle all the deck, deal out 6 cards for the center row. You're going to get your normal starting deck, crystals, infinity shards, of 10 cards. But you're also, based on the character that you picked, going to get one more card to make it 11. In our case, it's the Limiter Drones card, and the rulebook specifies exactly which card to add to your deck. And basically, you shuffle all that up. The human player would start the game. They draw their 5 cards, play them all, do any damage to the Nemesis to try to kill them first. That's how you win. You can play all your cards like normal, buy all the cards you want and can afford and things like that. And then we get to the Nemesis turn. The Nemesis turn is very, very simple. What you do is you take the top card of the deck and reveal it. It's a Homodius faction, so what we would do is we would play all the other Homodius cards that happen to be out in the trade row at that time, and the Nemesis would get to play all of them once. If they're champions, they would gain them. This was a awful turn for us because they just got 3 champions. And then they would go down the line and play each of their champions like normal. Now that was one turn. Let's go ahead and show you another example. Kind of demonstrate how the actual cards work. So let's say it's the Nemesis turn again. We would reveal. This would be terrible. Now if you ever reveal the faction that matches the Nemesis character that you chose, they automatically gain 3 mastery just for that. Then you look at the card and see what it does. It says gain 1. And then you ignore the rest of the text because it doesn't have a deck, doesn't have a hand, so you can't banish anything. But it would gain that 1. And then you look out in the trade row. Are there any other purple cards? Yes. This would get 4 damage and level up 1. It does the damage to us. If we have champions out, it will attack those first unless it can kill us with that damage. So having champions out is a good strategy to kind of block some damage because it's going to come flying at you, like in our case here, another 3. Now you see the echo where you gain an additional 2 for each wraith in your discard pile. That wouldn't happen unless they are at level 15. So all those little extra things like this unify, it doesn't get to do that until it gets to level 15. So you ignore that until that point. Secondary text that doesn't have the keywords, you always ignore. So in that case, it would do all that damage, and then it would also get to do all its champions. So leaving champions out is just as bad as leaving champions out in the multiplayer game. You would take all these cards that the Nemesis played and put them in a discard pile that are basically out of the game. And then we would reset and we would get to do our next turn, hopefully killing some of these champions. And then once again, take the top card, reveal it. It's a green, so we would do that for the Nemesis. 10 life, yikes. And then we would go through and play each of these. This copy effect, you would get to choose which one of the 2. So this would get 2 and draw a card. Now you say, how does draw a card work? Because the Nemesis doesn't have a deck. Well, anytime it says draw a card, they actually gain a mastery level. So if it said draw 2 cards, they would gain 2 mastery level, and so forth and so on. Draw cards is awful when Nemesis gets that. So In this case, it would gain another 4 here and 1 more level. Not good. If it was at 50, it would also get the 6 damage. Okay, let's go through and do some more examples of another turn. In that case, we discard all this. Champions fire off. Not good. It's not looking good. We're probably getting stomped right now. And you can see how difficult this is. And it's a good difficult. I like solo games to be difficult, or they're not very fun. Okay, we revealed a blue. This says recruit a card with 6 or less for free. We wouldn't be able to do that. We'd play the other blue card. It's a champion. You put it in play. All right, it's our turn again. We play our turn. Now back to the Nemesis turn. That one again. No other blues. That was a good turn for us. So our turn again, back to Nemesis. Here's one. They'd gain 2. And what I'm trying to find is another example of a card type. Let's see. Oh, here's one. Okay. So let's say they drew this one. This says gain 2 money. What good is money for someone that doesn't care about money like the Nemesis does? Well, every time that they would gain money, you would take the top cards equal to the amount of money, so in this case 2, and you would discard them. And we'd play all these. This is a champion, would go into play. They're getting tons of champions. They'd get to exhaust that for 3. Discard 3. This is another champion. This would be, they would discard the top card and gain a level for that draw card. So why does it matter about discarding the top card? Because one of the ways you can lose is if you ever have to refill the center row and you can't because the cards are gone, you lose right away. I've lost that way. I didn't think it was actually possible or a threat, and it can be, because remember, the center row is probably getting cleared out a bunch during the game. In addition to the money cards, especially these Homodius cards, they really are very tough in the Nemesis mode, in my opinion. The other way you can lose is if he ever reaches 30 mastery. Reaches 30 mastery, the game ends immediately and you lose. Or if he just straight up kills you, then you lose. So 3 ways you can lose. Run out of the deck, he hits 30 mastery, or he kills you. Other than that, everything plays the same way. Like I said, when he hits 15 mastery, then he would get the keyword abilities, such as Echo. That's one he would be able to get. He would just get it as if he had it. So even though he doesn't have a discard pile, you would pretend like he does. That's the trick there. And it's really fun. A good way to kind of get better at the game, learn the cards. If you you have some free time and want to kill about 15 to 20 minutes, it's a really good, quick to set up solo game. I do still like multiplayer better just because I'm more of a multiplayer gamer, but when you don't have someone to play with, it's great to be able to play one of your favorite games. And they really did a good job and did something unique that I was not expecting. I thought it was going to be more like the Ascension style solo, where it was a little more, I guess, easier to deal with. The Nemesis is really hard. So if you win, you did great, or you got really, really lucky. I have won because I just did really great, right? No, not really. I'm actually pretty bad at this game. I don't win often, but it is a fantastic game, solo or otherwise. Check it out. Shards of Infinity, plus the expansion, Relics of the Future. A+.